Why aren't you afraid, human? His answer left her breathless. A universe at war. The galaxy had long been a battlefield of conquest and annihilation. Empires clashed in an unending war for dominance, leaving entire star systems in ruin. The dominion of Valkyrie, an empire of warlike beings known for their brutal efficiency, had crushed civilizations that once stood defiant against their rule. Worlds burned in their wake, and among the stars, only the strongest survived. Yet, there was one anomaly in their path: humanity. They were weak, primitive, lacking in biological superiority or the sheer force that many other species boasted. And yet, they endured. They did not surrender nor cower. The Valkyrie could not understand it. Fear was a fundamental part of the universe, instinctual, necessary. Yet, these creatures fought as if fear did not exist. As if pain was irrelevant. As if death was merely an inconvenience. And now, aboard the warship Vile-Wrath, High Commander Zyra of the Valkyrie stood face to face with a human prisoner, her latest mystery to unravel. The interrogation begins. The interrogation chamber was cold, sterile. A single light flickered overhead, casting eerie shadows against the metallic walls. Zyra stood tall, her battle-hardened armor gleaming under the dim light, her elongated pupils narrowing as she regarded the man before her. He was restrained, hands shackled behind his back, his uniform torn and bloodied. Yet, his eyes, they were steady. Defiant. He did not flinch as she approached, nor did he tremble when she placed a clawed hand against his throat. Why aren't you afraid, human? The question lingered in the stale air, a whisper of curiosity laced with frustration. Zyra had seen countless prisoners. Some begged. Others broke within minutes. Fear was a weapon she wielded with ease. But this one? He simply smirked. I could ask you the same thing, he replied. A flicker of irritation flashed across her face. The gall of this creature. You are at my mercy. Your fleet is in ruins. Your people scattered. And yet, you defy me. He exhaled sharply, a semblance of a laugh. You don't understand humans, do you? Her grip tightened. Enlighten me. The nature of humanity. His eyes bore into hers with something far more unsettling than defiance: conviction. You think fear controls us? That it defines us? His voice was steady, unwavering. You're wrong. Fear doesn't stop humans. It never has. We crossed oceans when the world told us we would drown. We conquered the skies when the universe insisted we were bound to the earth. We walked on our own moon, built cities among the stars, and when the void whispered that it would consume us, we laughed and lit the darkness on fire. Zyra frowned. He spoke as if he were not a prisoner, as if the chains binding him were irrelevant. It was unsettling. Your arrogance will be your downfall, she said. Your kind is doomed. His smirk widened. You don't get it? We should have died 1,000 times over. Every empire, every war, every force in the universe that tried to erase us failed. You think fear is enough to stop us? He leaned forward as much as his restraints allowed. Fear is just another challenge. And humans? We eat challenges for breakfast. Something in her gut twisted. This wasn't arrogance. It was something more dangerous. It was belief. A test of wills. Zyra felt an unfamiliar sensation creeping into her thoughts. Doubt. The Valkyrie had conquered hundreds of species, their war engines unstoppable. Yet, the humans fought with a recklessness that defied reason. They won battles they should have lost. They stood against insurmountable odds and survived. And now, standing before this unyielding man, she felt something foreign, an emotion she had never encountered in battle. Respect. With a sharp motion, she deactivated the restraints. The chains fell to the ground with a heavy clang. The human flexed his wrists, rubbing the bruised skin, but made no move to attack. "You amuse me, human," Zyra admitted. "Perhaps your kind is not as weak as I thought." He shrugged. "We never were. You just weren't paying attention." She studied him for a long moment before smirking. "Then let's see if you're as strong as you claim." He met her gaze, unwavering. "Try me." And so, the game began. The beginning of a legend. What started as an interrogation became something far more dangerous, an understanding. In the days that followed, Zyra found herself drawn to his words, to his defiance, to the sheer force of his will. He was not afraid. And for the first time in her long, battle-worn life, she found herself wondering if fear was truly the most powerful weapon. Maybe, just maybe, the answer had been before her all along. And perhaps, just perhaps, the war was far from over. For the real battle had only just begun.